Latinos. The Latinos and Black communities are supposed to come together as one. It is funny how the Latinos are coming to the realization that the only allies they have had in their entire whole life are Black Americans. They are Black people. It is funny how they are now realizing that the so-called skin has literally failed them. And I love it. I love so much. If you have conversations with my channel, right? I love it when you try to play with the feelings of Black Americans, and then you are now realizing, like when you F around, and then you're finding out in a very hard and difficult way. I so much love it. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in at this episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you. Liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's roll out the clips. I'll be back with commentaries.
The Latino and Black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that.
So are we going to address that 60%? When are we going to address the 60%? Because it does not make any sense that people have so much time to make, hey, dear Black people videos, what's going on Black people videos, why are you not Black people videos, and somehow never addresses that 60% of Latinos that close the door on their own people. Because a lot of people making these same dear Black people videos are the same people that voted for Donald Trump. A lot of the Latinos that are making these dear Black people videos are the same people that voted for Donald Trump. A lot of the Latinos marching are the same people that voted for Donald Trump. Because that guilt is now kicking in. And you know why they voted? Because America is now trying to offer Latinos the same deal that they offered the Italians, that they offered the Asians, and that they offered the Irish. This is why they made a classification of white Latino. And you know who is eating that shit up? Latinos. Look for the lambonos in your community. And for those of you who don't know what a lambono is, it's pretty much an ass kisser. Because I can never be okay with my people, the same people who speak the same language, the same people that eat the same food, have the same cultural background. They turned their back on their own people, and you guys want to still stand next to them? That is the problem. Before making Dear Black People videos, start exiling those people out of your community. Because at this time, Black people are the only people that stood up for all minority groups. But like we already said, Black people are on vacation.
60% of Latinos voted for Trump. 60%? Y'all hate yourselves that much? You hate your cousins, your uncle, the people, your friends on the other side of the border or trying to become citizens? Y'all hate them that much? 60%? I don't understand. I just keep saying 60%. Us as Black people, we did our part. We really tried. We really tried. But the Latinos? How do I care more for your rights than you do for your own rights? How do I care more for you and your family to finally get the American dream than you do? How do I care more for your uncle, your sister, your brother, your whoever, your mija, your mijo? How do I care more? 60% of Latinos. I will not be listening to the music no more. I will not. You have disappointed me. I will not be bachata no fucking more, bitch. Fuck you, Latinos.
Shout out to the Black community. I always say this. If the Latino and Black community mobilized together and eliminated the tension that exists between our two communities, because the fact of the matter is that we have suffered many of the same struggles. We have grew up in the same neighborhoods, side by side. We have been discriminated against. We have been enslaved. We have been stripped of our dignity. We have had to fight for our position in this world. Your struggles are our struggles. If we combine the Black and Latino community, do you understand how much power and influence we would have together? If we did not fight against each other, if we did not allow the system to influence us to believe that we are enemies instead of sisters and brothers, do you understand how powerful that would be? They want us to be at odds with each other. They create these unnecessary barriers between the two communities for essentially that, to keep us segregated from each other, for us to operate in our silos, for us to have it's you versus me mentality. Because when we operate in that way, we're weakened. We are weakened because we're scattered. We're not following the same mission and vision. And I just want to shout out the Black community who has been talking about the performance, who has been showing love, who also has been having this exact conversation within their own communities about how Latinos and the Black community need to come together. I appreciate you and I see you and I thank you.
Let's talk about Black and Latino relationships. Heavy, right? I'm Colombian American. I was born in South America. I was raised in a working class town in New Jersey. Growing up, all of my friends were Black. I actually didn't really have that many Latino friends when I was a kid. Most of my friends were Black. And really, I think that shaped my perspective differently than a lot of Latinos in the US. And I want to make something very clear, and I want to talk about something that I think a lot of Latinos like to ignore. First off, a lot of us have Black roots. In Colombia, in South America, about 20% of the population is Black, Afro-Colombian. My father's family has Black family. I have some Black heritage. Clearly, I would never go around saying I'm like African American, but I just want to say many of us share Black ancestry, and we grew up in households that bear the stain of colonialism. Essentially, we were forced upon us these views by the Spanish, by the Portuguese, even by the US, because the US government kind of went into a lot of our homelands and kind of pushed their own agenda. And we were pushed to understand or to think or to believe that the darker we were, the more inferior we are. You see this a lot in South Asian communities. Indian communities, I see do this a lot. And I'll be very honest with you, I don't want to kind of start a controversy here, but I do often see a little bit of racism from South Asian communities directed at people like us, Latinos, and definitely at African Americans. East Asian communities, this is a problem there too. Maybe we'll talk about this in the future. Like I said, this channel is for uncomfortable conversations, and I want you guys to have them in the comments. I want you to discuss this stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Black Americans and Latinos, right? So this is the part that infuriates me the most. Black Americans have historically pushed a lot of the civil rights and liberties that we have in this country, in the United States. The civil rights movement was led predominantly by Black people. Many of the rights and the privileges that we have. If you're a Russian American and you're going around talking about how much you love Putin or whatever, you won that right. Well, you didn't win it, but you have that right because people decades ago fought for the right for you to express yourself, for you to be free and have freedom of speech. And I think this is something that a lot of Latinos don't understand. I think this is also a divide between Latinos who haven't really been in the US that long and Latinos like myself who were either born or raised in the US since children. I have noticed a culture amongst some Colombian Americans that I interact with who have only been living in the US like 5-10 years, and all of a sudden they become political experts on the US. They're like in their 30s or their 20s. They didn't grow up here. They weren't teenagers here. They may not have even gone to school here. And yes, I want to shout out Aaliyah, my first crush as a child. And so sometimes you have discussions with them and you'll ask them like, oh, you think this is okay? Like what the government is doing, limiting the free speech of students, etc. And they'll be like, yeah, every country has the right to like determine who they let into their country and what they can do. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a threat to the country, you should not be let in. But freedom of speech, that's like a foundational bedrock of our liberal democracy, which is what we have always been for, at least for the past decades after World War II. And I feel like a lot of these recent immigrants don't know that. I think they come from their countries with kind of backwards views on liberties, on what you can say, what you should say. Some of them think that because in their home countries, the government can kind of come and tell you what to say, then that's okay to do that here in the US. And I want to be very clear about something. America has never been okay with telling people what to do and what to say. You can take this back a couple of decades. You can take it back to Ulysses, a novel published by James Joyce, which was very controversial and made its way through the courts. And guess what's one of the most important novels of the 20th century, which would be Ulysses by James Joyce. You also take this back to novels like Tropic of Cancer, which was heavily censored and banned in many places in the U.S. And eventually it became part of kind of our cultural experience. Henry Miller's Tropic of Cancer, one of my favorite books, by the way. I heavily recommend it. But we have historically moved towards supporting civil rights, supporting speaking for yourself, and Black Americans have been a huge part of this. I'm willing to say that if it weren't for Black Americans, America would be a little bit more totalitarian than it was a couple of months ago. And interestingly enough, when you talk about this and you tell people, well, America hasn't always been a free country, right? In the civil rights movement, dogs were sicked on Black protesters. People were murdered under kind of state-sanctioned, dangerous views. And a lot of this happened because Black Americans were fighting for their rights, and they were treated horrendously by not just the U.S. government, but local governments, people in the communities that just were so ignorant and stupid that they didn't understand that, we're all human beings. And a lot of Latinos have benefited from this. Even Latinos that arrived here 5-10 years ago. But the problem is they don't know they've benefited from this. They don't know that the reason they can play salsa out in the street without having someone call the police on them, or successfully call the police on them to get it to shut it down, is because Black Americans made it possible so that integration, civil rights, acceptance of different races was something that we championed as a society, up until recently, of course. And I think a lot of my Latino brethren need to kind of get it together and start studying what this country was founded on. You can't arrive in a country, you can't come here as a new immigrant and bring with you oppressive totalitarian beliefs and think that now you can enforce them because there's a candidate that you like that does that. Like, you need to read up on John F. Kennedy. You need to read on FDR. You need to read on James Baldwin. You need to read about Malcolm X. You need to read about so many, W.E. Du Bois. You need to read about the people who fought for our rights and how hard it was for us to maintain those rights. And if you really want to be an American, if you want to come to this country and you want to say, I'm an American and I'm proud, whether you're Cuban Republican or Colombian Republican or whatever, well, you need to learn the history of this country, right? Because you came here, you chose to come to this country to live a new life, to fight for a better life for your family. So how dare you try to take that away from other people? And how dare you insult and treat Black Americans as if they were inferior to you? They're not. No one is. Everyone is deemed equal under the eyes of God. And you seem to have come here and you brought with you these beliefs, and all they do is just cause and sow hatred and seeds of evil in this society. It's a big beef that I have. I just want to say that if Black and Latino people come together, if we understand that we are in the same game, fighting the same struggle, looking for the same opportunities for our families and our children and our parents, we are a powerful force to be reckoned with. But until we realize how powerful we can be when we work together, we will remain, in many ways, unfortunately, divided. And that power will be divided. And guess who benefits from that? It ain't you, brother. It ain't me. It ain't you out there working in a factory or in construction thinking that Donald Trump is going to save you from whatever the hell you thought you needed saving from. It's Jeff Bezos. It's Musk. It's this creepy little dweeb Zuckerberg that wants to be a man, that thinks that because he has a little gold chain and grew out his little hair and has a little t-shirt that somehow he's a manly man. Yeah, okay, you can take as many Thai bowl classes as you want, Mark Zuckerberg. You're not a man. You're part of an oppressive system that hurts people and causes damages to Western democracies and developing nations who are influenced by these ignorant beliefs found amongst these totalitarian states. That's it for me now. I'm trying to upload more people. I promise I'll talk about sports. I will. I have about 300 followers. I got another page that has about 200,000 followers, but that's a business page dedicated to something completely outside of the realm of politics, culture, sports, and society. I hope you stick around. Please follow my podcast. And you can also go to realdiegoarias.com. I repeat it, realdiegoarias.com. And you can read some of my essays, some of my fiction, some of my nonfiction, and some of my rambles. And I'm willing to hear you out. Any conservatives out there, any Latinos out there that think I'm wrong, please leave your comments. I believe in free speech. Free speech means that I should and read things that I don't agree with. It's all about having an open conversation. That's the whole point to a modern society. Have a lovely day, everybody. I love you. Take care. Bye.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how you can show up differently and be the change you want to see. Number 1, share stories of solidarity. Share stories of love. Share stories of when you have experienced the Black or Latino community showing up in your spaces. We need to shift the narrative. Number 2, if your reality is division between the Black and Latino community and your goal is unity, then it is up to you to seek out examples of when the Latino and Black communities show up for one another, where they show love, where there is actual solidarity, because guess what? It exists. And if you need a place to start with me. I am happy to be a part of your network of Latinos who have nothing but love for our Black sisters and brothers. Number 3, ask your neighbors how you can be helpful. You need to lead with your heart in this moment. That is the only way that we are going to experience an actual shift. We have to show up as human beings. We have to show up vulnerable. We have to show up as the change that we want to see. Lastly, ask others to join you. Let's actually start in the comments. Share your stories of solidarity and love. If members of the Latino and Black community have a hard time seeing it, let's show them how it's actually done. I stand with my Black brothers and sisters, and I also stand with my Latino familia. But the change, it starts with us. I love you.
Maybe the silver lining is that we all find a way to connect with each other so we can fight this big evil together.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's the whole purpose of this, is waking us up to that. Hopefully, maybe let's make that, because I don't want to be this cynical and think that this is where it's always going to feel like. I don't want future generations after us to be like still fighting the same issue. Like this is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of the same shit. Like when are we going to just realize like, hey, we're better together than apart?
Whether it's like the Asian community, the Black community, the Latino community, like every single community needs to come together and stop dividing.
All right, for all my Blacks on this app that's coming on here saying this is not our fight, this is not our fight, y'all definitely must not be from LA, because out here it's a different type of program that we run, which is we actually have love for our Raza out here. We actually support them, we protect them, etc. And they do the same for us. If y'all was actually out there in the streets during the BLM protests, y'all would see Latinos out there supporting us as well. So I'm not getting this whole this not our fight, this not our fight, when they was out there for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was really out there in the streets during the protest, then you would actually know. Most of these motherfuckers is sitting behind the camera just talking shit that they don't even know. So I'm just letting y'all know, just to bypass them type people that got hate, envy, and racist, racism in their heart or whatever, you know what I'm saying, towards the Latin community, because some of them actually do. You know what I mean? But we can't help them. So and all in all, out here, we respect our Raza, and we support our Raza. So that's what we gonna do. Me and my people are going out to the protest downtown City Hall. You know what I'm saying, we actually getting out in these streets, and we supporting the Raza. So I'm letting y'all know that the blacks out here, we got y'all back. So let's you know what I'm saying, let's continue this fight. Let's continue to have a peaceful protest. I don't want no harm inflicted on nobody, you know what I'm saying, because that's not going to do nothing but cause more pain in the community. So I ask that we all just, you know what I'm saying, keep the peace with the protests, and let's stand our ground, though. I love y'all. Chocolate uno out.
The Latino and Black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Shout out to the Black community. I always say this: if the Latinos and Black communities can come together, win this battle, we are going to be victorious. Shout out to the Latinos, and shame on to them for now realizing that it is only the black communities that can literally help them. Karma at its full force. No matter how you're trying to shout out the black communities, no matter how you're trying to make it look like black communities are the only ones that can save you, no matter how you're trying to justify by going to a podcast. I've seen a podcast where you see this Latino woman screaming, the only people that can help us are black people. The only people that can save us are black people. Black Americans are the only ones that understand our pains. Black Americans are the only ones that did this to us. Black Americans are the only ones that stand with us. Black Americans are the only ones that are our allies. I was looking at her. Check. She voted. They were singing. They were happy. They were jumping. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. You forgot when people were jumping with the Asians, with the Hispanics, with the Mexicans, Americans. You people were making it look like choosing someone that looked like me is actually a very big sin for you people. Despite the fact that black Americans took their time, explain this thing to you guys. You don't need this. You have to be careful with the choices you are making. You don't need to go through this route. If you go through this route, we understood the system of America. We understand every single thing. We have been through segregation. We've been through Jim Crow. We've been through redlining. So what else do you think we as black people do not understand about America? We have literally invented a lot of things as black Americans, and these people tag it, erase us, reclassify things. We've gone through slavery, for crying out loud. We've been here years after years. In fact, we've been in America even before the existence of the Columbus colonization, every single thing that happened, the transatlantic slave that happened. Still, you people fail to understand that these Black Americans are the only one that made you people come to America. They are the only one that fought, that stood with you people in solidarity, allies, for you guys to be able to migrate to America. So it is now that you people are now realizing, after you have messed up, after you have voted, after you have screamed, after you have sang, after you have done the damages, it is now. So whenever it comes to compassion, Black Americans should be standing to be having compassion for people, should be sharing emotions. But whenever it comes to you helping a Black American person, it becomes a problem. It becomes, God forbid, we can't put a Black person out there. You know, one thing with Latinos is that they thought that proximity to whiteness is actually whites. While in real sense and in reality, they are now finding out now proximity to whiteness is not white. They cannot be white, no matter how they are trying to manipulate it, no matter how they are trying to make it look like, oh, we are white. They can never. So now that they are realizing that their own system, what they created, has failed them, they now need the Black communities, especially now the Black communities are saying, we are not coming out. We are sitting out. We're just folding our arms watching to see what you guys literally have to offer. You see, that is what I call karma. That is what I call next time you will listen. That is what I call F around and finals. So do not think that right now Black Americans, Black people are going to be coming to save you anytime soon. In fact, Black Americans have said it over and over again. They are no longer anybody's allies, not even African allies. So if you think that they are going to literally come stand for you, advocate for you in solidarity, come with unity, I'm not saying that unity is not important. We are one, like I said. But you have to value who value you. You have to fight for who fight for you. You have to see who see you. You have to stand with who stand for you. And 99.9% of time, Latino communities have literally betrayed Black people. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.